Hey guys, welcome everyone to a happy Saturday afternoon here. And today, welcome here to Lake 10 of my flight of from Berlin to Beijing. So it's good to see you guys here. I don't usually stream Saturday, but there was actually a good reason for it. Because tomorrow I had to take a booster shot, and I don't know how I would feel about taking the booster. I wonder if it'll make me feel really bad. So I decided to stream here today so I don't have to worry about any issues with scheduling. So it's good to have all you guys here. And this is leg 10 of our trip. We're going to be heading our way from Irkutsk. And we're going to head to Chita. We're going to actually fly through Ulan-Ude as well. Hey, Fly Mavic, thank you for the follow. It's good to have you here. So, thank you. Thanks a bunch for being here. It's going well. I'm getting ready for today's flight. So it's kind of foggy out here today. So the nav map plan for today, today's nav map plan. So today's plan will take off from Voschini Airport at Uniform India Romeo. We're gonna fly across through some of the hills, and we're gonna cross over Russia's the most notable body of water in all of Russia, Lake Baikal. And then we'll be flying over the airport of Ulan-Ude East Airport, located to the right of Ulan-Ude, the third largest city in the Russian Far East. We're going to fly over here, reach through two of the checkpoints, of the waypoints, and then we'll make our stop here at Uniform India Alpha Alpha, located outside of the city of Chita. So that's going to be for today's flight plan. Just plain simple what we're going to do here today. So before we get started, let me go ahead and read. Let's get to the aircraft we're flying here today. And it's the good old Yonkers Ju-52. We've been taking it for every part of the journey so far. The Yonkers has been our go-to workhorse for every single part of the journey. So this plane right here is an aviation classic, one of the most iconic planes of the 1930s. And since we don't have the G24 in sim, we're going to use the Ju-52 and we're going to put this those Aunt Ju to good work. So let's get to the cockpit and let's get this thing rolling. But before we do get this thing started, let me talk about our notes for today. So it is going to be foggy at first. So let's talk about some of the notes. So in Irkutsk, they have flown through 4/5 of the total distance of the flight. It took them 4.5 days flying without any issues. In fact, Dr. Robert Noss, the one who led the start of the whole journey, stated that in the plane DU-903, they didn't have to change a single one of the 36 spark plugs in the plane since Berlin. So they stopped at Irkutsk for a few days of rest before continuing. The expedition had placed their own meteorologist in Irkutsk in a local observatory. He supplied the planes with the daily weather forecast by telegraph. While they were feasted by the local dignitaries, watch a football game, on August 3rd, they went on an excursion to Lake Baikal by car. And the temperatures are about 30 degrees Celsius in the shade. Their car breaks down before they even leave town, and they fall through a rough track through rivers and small villages. They climb a hill, and the view reminds Robert Nah of the lakes of the Swiss Alps. Lunch is set on a fisherman's hut, and they usually serve scrambled egg and some bottles cooled in ice cold waters of the lake. And the car was broken down again completely, so they had to have a farmer to take them back to Irkutsk on a horse-drawn cart. So then we get to August 13th, and they continue the flight. So we will take off through a layer of fog in the morning sun. And according to them, it will take around 2 hours to reach it. But considering how fast we're going to be going around 120 knots, we should not take it so much of a problem. So let's go ahead and get this thing started. We're going to go ahead and complete the checklist. We're going to turn on the battery right here. Nice little switch. We're going to put these on idle. Good. Set the parking brake. I don't think we need the pilot heater for this flight. All that's good. All that's checked. I got all the fuel needed. We turn on starter master. That's complete. Primer and the ejection. The Shaw valve and the primer. Check and check. Open the fuel level pump. How can you fly that plane? There were no pictures. It says howitzer. Good to see you, howitzer. I can fly the plane without pictures. I've flown this plane a lot since release, so I know how this thing actually. Good to see you. I need GPS or something. There are no pictures. Like, I can always set the autopilot, but it's based on heading. But it's good to see you, howitzer. Hope things are going well with you. Everything goes good. Everything's done. Once we got that, we need to close the bottle pump. Pretty easy. We just do this, close, done, and then we can start engine number 2. Just like engine 1, we put this in the Von Ham pump. However, there is a separate little fuel pump we need to turn on, which is down here. There's the fuel pump. Because the water pump was for the 2 outer engines, the main fuel pump is just used for. There. Good. There we go. Get that done, get that done. Turn off the fuel pump down here. Once that's done, Just change the ignition delay back. Bruh. Then we just turn off the shut off fuel valve in the nebulizer, which is the primer. And once we do that, we can just turn on the lights on this thing. No problem. So if you guys are interested in joining me today's flight, it's on the East USA server. In fact, if you guys want me to, I can also post the route today as well. So we're taking off at Uniform India India Romeo. So once we do this, we're gonna turn off the parking brake. I'm gonna taxi this bad boy out of here. We're gonna actually take off at runway 32. So we're going to go ahead and get back to the runway. I'm going to go just turn back some music. Some more classical. It's kind of foggy this bit of the morning here. Let's go ahead and turn this thing off. We're going to go ahead and actually not turn this off, but actually just park. Now, I'm going to need to set the flaps around 10-degree flaps, and then adjust the trim. I'm planning on cruising about 120 knots, 122 to 125 knots, within that range. I want to be really, really fast, but at the same time, I don't really want to be slow. And I think I can take off with this. Off the flaps. I see. Oh, Fly Mavic's here. Hey, Fly Mavic. Thank you. I see you here, Fly Mavic. Hey, the Vans RV7. Nice. Vans RV7 is a great one. Great freeware. I don't think I have it with me right now, but the Vans RV7 is a great freeware. Definitely an amazing one, that's for sure. So due to the fog, I will probably stay at somewhat of a lower altitude for today. I know the max for this entire leg is 6,000. So for this one, we're going to probably keep to its altitude. But I'll try and head to somewhere of a low altitude today. Here's Van Mavic. Fly Mavic's in the RV7. So we actually have someone flying with me today. I really appreciate it. I've already got me. Now it's kind of foggy this part of the morning. We're gonna probably fly in this direction for a bit. As you can tell here, it's quite foggy and really, really hard to see. So at times I may have to pull up my nav map if I don't talk. Because like I said, the terrain here can be quite unforgiving. So I hope you guys are currently having a great weekend so far. I understand for some of you this might be a really busy weekend, especially with Monday being Valentine's Day. So I'm really hoping everything's going well for every one of you guys here. And I really appreciate for everyone that showed up so far. Thank you. Thanks a bunch. like I said, there's all sorts of fog everywhere here. See? There's the Angara River down to our right is the Angara River. Now that's where the city of Irkutsk is actually kind of, it lies on the banks of that river. And in fact, if you go back to the slideshow, which I have here, basically Irkutsk is based on the Angara River, and it's one of the largest cities in all the Russian Far East. And like I said before, it was where a lot of the Russians were exiled during the December Revolt in 1825. And there's quite a few iconic landmarks in the city, once again, like I said earlier. So I probably level out once I get to around 4,000 feet. This is the safe altitude 6,000, so I'll level out once we get near 5,000 feet. But yeah, the scenery here is going to be much better than the previous lakes, because a lot of the previous lakes here, they were kind of flat, but this one has some real terrain in it. So for today's topic, we will talk about geography, which is our main topic. And I'll talk about the main thing once we get close to Lake Baikal, and we'll talk more about when we get near it. Because for me, this is probably one of the highlights of the journey, for me at least, for looking at the map, when we get to fly over Lake Baikal. And I think it's going to be an awesome flight past. Definitely a very interesting thing of the journey as well. So guys, I really appreciate it. Fly Mav, wow, you're doing great. You're doing really well, Fly Mav. Look at this. You kept in formation with me. That's really awesome. So guys, if you're interested in getting caught up to the latest of my flights and all of this sort of stuff, and if you like it, I actually have a Discord as well, and you can keep track of all my future streams and content and stuff. I also do have a YouTube channel as well, so in the other platform, and I actually do all my previous VODs. FSTV Vomit, through the sea FSTV Vomit. We're flying from Irkutsk to Chita. We're going to be, I think we're not going to be very far from crossing Lake Baikal pretty soon. And trust me, I've flown over that lake a lot of times in the sim, and it's one of my favorite lakes to fly over. It is a really nice lake. It's a beautiful place in the sim to fly over. Live weather? No, this is not live weather. I'm currently using the Weather Preset Pro Shallow Fog, and that's gonna be I'm gonna use this until we get to Lake Baikal, and then it'll start to clear up over Lake Baikal. So it's based off the notes I have. Actually, if you guys want me to at some point, I can actually upload all the notes for the flight. You guys can be prepared for it, if that's all right. Yeah, it is nice. Like I said, flying in fog is a real challenge. But I mean, I have the modern luxury of, you know, having NavMap, Flight Sim Fuka Pro, and all that. Those pilots back in 1926 did not have such luxuries during that time. Yeah, look at that. Fly Maverick's down below. He's right below me. A little bit. Up the trim. Even within that 125 troop speed, just even within a free. Yeah, I hope you're doing well, FSTB Vomit. Fly Maverick down over here. But as you can tell, I don't know if being stuck at work Saturday, you're doing well. Nice. I'm glad you're doing very well. Yeah, we're flying towards Lake Baikal. And you definitely see it's kind of, you know, with all the fog going on, it's kind of hard to see. But thankfully, the fog isn't going to be too bad. Once we get over Lake Baikal, it's going to start to clear up a bit. it's good to have you guys here, and I really appreciate all of you guys showing up here today. Definitely, it's pretty interesting sightseeing, that's for sure, out of the fog. You definitely see some of the ground from over here. Especially if you look out of the window, you can actually see all this. Let's go ahead and talk about our topic for today. So hey, Splasher6, good to see you, Splasher6. Good to see you. I hope you're doing well. I know you got your stream in 30 minutes. I appreciate you checking in, Splasher6. If you guys haven't checked him out, Splasher6 is an amazing content creator, and he is one of the closest friends to me in the community. He's been a huge help for me a lot, and he's been really one of my closest friends. So guys, please check out Splasher6. He's gonna have his stream in 30 minutes. So I appreciate you checking out Splasher6. I apologize if I cut into some of that streaming stuff on the views. I really am apologizing. I mean, I didn't really have much of a choice considering that tomorrow was I had a booster shot for COVID. None of that could have been done. But guys, but do check out Splasher6. Really, really awesome guy. Thanks, appreciate that, no worries, hope the shot goes well. Thanks, Splasher. I really appreciate it. Like I said, you've always been a class act. So thank you for a bunch. Yeah, I mean, from the previous vaccines, from the COVID vaccines I took, I felt quite fine, but I don't know about the booster shots. I haven't taken those yet, so I don't know how it is. But we're actually going to get near Lake Baikal. I think we're around 20 miles from Baikal. So I think it'll be a good time to actually talk about that, over Lake Baikal for a bit. So Lake Baikal, Russia's, one of the world's most important freshwater bodies. Baikal, for those who don't know, it is definitely Russia's most important lake. It is the world's largest lake by volume in the entire world, as it contains 22 to 23% of the world's fresh surface water. And believe it or not, that's more than all 5 of the North American Great Lakes put together. That's right. You know how the 5 American Great Lakes offer like 20% of it? Lake Baikal is more for volume than those 5 great North American lakes. On top of it, it is the world's deepest lake, with its maximum depth being around 5,387 feet, or 1,642 meters. And believe it or not, it is the world's oldest lake too, by the way. It has been dated back to 25 to 30 million years. And knowing that, with an area of 31,722 square kilometers, is slightly larger than the country of Belgium. And by surface area, it is the 7th largest lake by surface area on the entire planet. It's a huge lake. And of course, the water is also quite clear too. Now, Baikal is unique in the fact it's home to thousands of different species of plants and animals, including many different endemic plants. And one of the animals you see here, this is the Baikal seal. This is the most notable animal species that actually lives in the lake. And this is unusual because they're only one of the. In fact, this actually is the only exclusively freshwater seal on the entire planet. It's an earless seal. Currently around 80 to 100,000 animals are currently living in the lake. And they usually eat an oil fish known as a gully mica, which is an oil fish around there, and this is what they usually eat. In fact, they eat around 64,000 tons of this fish per year. And then outside of that, there are other fish species as well that they eat. Which I think is pretty cool. These Baikal seals are definitely really interesting animals to talk about. And they can actually change locations depending on the season within the lake. Pretty cool. In addition to the seal, there's also 236 different species of birds living there, 65 native species of fish, and a large amount of different invertebrates, including crustaceans, snails, bivalves, and worms. All live on Lake Baikal. And the history of human activity in Baikal goes all the way back to 24,000 BP. And an early tribe in the area were known as the Kurakans. And eventually one of the main areas that are located near Lake Baikal was Irkutsk, which was the main city that was on the banks of the river. But this area was also a pretty big issue when they were trying to build the Trans-Siberian Railway. So they had to do a very special route and bridges and tunnels to connect to it. In fact, it took 200 different bridges and 33 tunnels just to connect the Trans-Siberian Railway around Baikal. Which is pretty crazy. And this area is known by its nickname, the Pearl of Siberia, as it was a very popular destination for tourists from all around the planet, including like skiing. Obviously, the Trans-Siberian Railroad also had a factor in it. There's resorts all around the place, so it made it a very popular tourism site. And as well, fishing is a big part of it. Fishing, animal watching, bird watching, and all that sort of stuff. All of those are within Lake Baikal. Very, very special lake. And I think we should be I think we should be heading there pretty quickly. I don't think we'll be that long. And like I said, this lake is just really impressive. I mean, we're gonna wait till all this gets clear up, and you guys can see the beautiful glory of Lake Baikal. It is epic. We're gonna wait till we get, and then you guys can actually see the beauty of it. It is epic. But let me go ahead and get back to the exterior. Yeah, Flight Mavic's still with me. That's awesome, dude. Look at that. Whoa. Oh, it did. No. Thought I. That's pretty awesome. Yeah, that RV-7 is a more aerobatic one than people give it credit. It's a much more aerobatic one than people give it credit for. Yeah, Flight Mavic's with me. So I'm not really alone on this trip today. I got plenty of other people with me. So once we get over to Lake Baikal, I'm going to clear up the weather. Question is, there are going to be, it's cloudy over the mountains with thunderstorms, so I probably know the weather preset I'm going to pick when the time comes. It's going to be thundery but calm. Thundery but calm is going to be the weather we're going to pick once we get over Lake Baikal. Now it'll still be thundering, but it will be nice and calm. And we're going to be right on the coast of it. I think it's time. We're going to go change the weather preset. Let's do this. Thundering but calm. Oh, look at this. And it's starting to clear up a bit. We're going to clear up. It's clearing up over Lake Baikal, so we're going to clear this up a bit. This up. There we go. Yeah, still have the thunderstorms, but it's starting to clear up a little bit. Just look at this. This is an enormous lake. I mean, God, look at the size of this lake. It's huge. Still gonna have some thunder, mind you, but thankfully it's gonna be clearing up a bit. But this is absolutely gorgeous. So this is gorgeous, guys. Absolutely stunning here in Baikal. What an amazing sight here today. This is awesome. Boom. I got me my picture. Welcome to Lake Baikal, guys. This is heading out. Have a great stream. Good to see you. George X182, welcome to the chat. First time chat. George, how you been? Yeah, it looks more like a sea. It is. It is huge. And here's the slide. Going back to my slideshow. Baikal is gargantuan. I mean, its surface area is larger than the country of Belgium. It has a depth of around 5,000 feet below. Its max depth is 5,000 feet. And it contains more surface water, more volume than all 5 of the North American Great Lakes put together. Like, this is an epic lake and an epic, amazing place to fly over. It's incredible, George. It's definitely one of the crown jewels of this flight. It's flying over Baikal. It's incredible. Splasher 6, you're heading out. Have a great stream. Thank you guys thank you, Splasher 6. I really appreciate you for coming on to my stream today. I really appreciate it. Hey, good luck for your stream, Splasher 6. And see you soon, Splasher. It's probably pretty cold too. Yeah, in Russia it's kind of cold, but when they did this flight back in 2016, they went in August. So the temperature actually isn't that bad. That being said, in the winter, this lake can't freeze, technically, in the winter time. Okay, I'm going to put this in perspective to see how big this lake is. In terms of distance. Just by distance, the whole lake is around 394 nautical miles. Just to show you what I'm talking about, it's 354 miles. That's larger than the entire country of Belgium in terms of distance. Which is pretty impressive to ask me. But it just shows you just the size of this lake. It's just... This lake is such an impressive natural wonder of the country. Hey! Allison Johnson Braden! Yay! Allison! Hey, Allie, good to see you! Hardwood 64, thank you, Allison. DIA Cowboy with the follow, good to see you with a hello, Dougal. Hey, guys, look where we're flying right now, Allison. You're in actually in a great place here. Welcome to Lake Baikal. Richie Ricardo has followed. Paparazzi has just followed the channel. Slow Browse, good to see you. This is awesome, everyone. Thank you for coming to the channel. Noxious020. Good to see you. Slow Browse has just followed. Thank you guys so much. So welcome, Raiders. Welcome, Raiders. Good to see you all here. So this is leg 10 of my Berlin to Beijing flight. This is an historical recreation of one of the most iconic aviation achievements of the 1920s. And let me show you, for you guys who just came here for the first time ever, I'm going to go give you a background of the flight. So let me go ahead and show you the background of this amazing flight. So this flight was set out in 1926. The plane they took for the trip is the Yonkers Ju-52, which is the predecessor to the Ju-52. It's basically the Ju-52 that we're flying here is basically an evolution of the Ju-24, the first plane to do night routes in Germany. And that's our plane. We picked the Yonkers Ju-52, an amazing warbird as well. One of the most iconic planes. This bad boy is powered by 3 BMW 192 engines. And we talked about this, the airliner, Deutsche Lufthansa. They're the ones who actually did this whole airline stuff to begin with. And they were one of the first airlines to do night routes. And by the outbreak of World War II, they were one of the largest airliners and airline companies in all of Europe. We took off from Berlin-Tempelhof, which is the original place of our airport. We took off from Tempelhof. I had to get some add-on scenery so we could actually allow us to take off from Tempelhof. And this is the book given to me by none other than Knightsep, who is a awesome guy, and he really helped me out this whole journey. This was Dr. von Robotnas, and this is his book explaining the entire journey. I'm Robson not Peking, and it plane to Beijing. Here's the book and cover in the first page. Then these two pictures. This is top one of the right is the crew members, Dr. Robert Ronos and some of the crew members on the G-24. And the other one, this is model D903, one of the two planes that was the journey. And as you can tell, guess what? The plane I'm flying right now is the D903. It is one of the planes that did it. And they did this trip because they wanted to go through Europe to Asia faster without having to go through Africa and the Middle East. And then the main reason, though, is because due to the Treaty of Versailles, Germany and the USSR surprisingly had good relations, so they flew through the interior of the USSR. And the main route of the trip went from Berlin, Königsberg, Smolensk, Moscow, Kazan, Kurgan, Omsk, Novosibirsk, Krasnoyarsk, Irkutsk, and now we're going to Chita. Then all the way to Sharbin, Mukden, and then Beijing. Plain and simple, this is the route for today's trip. And previously we covered all sorts of different areas for our flight. And we go through each of the different routes, and I talk about how each of the different parts of the world, just a bit of background information, the facts. That way I can teach you about this in an educational sense. I talk about all sorts of topics. History, culture, cuisine, and all that. And today's topic is going to be geography. Good to see you, Skeptic. Nice to see you here. Muse fan, awesome to see you. Captain Arash, hey, welcome, Captain Arash. And hey, Planet Neutral, good to have you here. I'm glad Allison and Ray, we're going to get along really well. Time for tea, be back later. Enjoy your flight. Thank you, Allison, so much for the ride. You are such a legend, Allison. Thank you so much. What's the full length of the route? Well, George, let me go ahead and show you the full route. I haven't updated this in a while, though. And the full length of the route, let me go ahead and pull up the nav map. Supposedly, the route is around 4,955 nautical miles, and it's going to go through 14 different stages. Did you have subs turn off? No, I haven't done the affiliate onboarding yet, Allison. That's why. I haven't done that yet. I need to do it at some point, though. Home of the Baikal seal, says Super Typhon. That's right. In fact, the Baikal seal is one of thousands of species, of well over 1,000 species of animals that live in Baikal. But yeah, the Baikal seal is the most famous species of animal currently being living in the thing. No worries, Allison. Good thing you asked. TI Cowboy says, I'm huge in history, and we have a big historical flight next month, so I dropped you Whisper. Ooh! Yeah, I would like to get the Whisper. Yeah, no worries, Allison. Like, I would like to get subscribers, but I have to work it out with my parents and all that. I haven't gotten it set up yet. I'm surprised if anyone besides Allison Johnson puts more into the streams than Viperstrike. Yeah, I put a lot of work into it. I don't stream very often, Dougal. So I put lots of work into my research. I put tons of work into it. I may not be knowing every single day about the flights, But here's the thing, Dougal, it is not just me you need to keep an eye on for research. You should also thank Nightsep for this too. Nightsep is the one who brought me all the notes of what Dr. Robert Nas is doing. He brought the weather conditions for today. So he has been the big one. Hey, Nightsep! Nightsep, hey, good to see you. So guys, if you haven't noticed, Nightsep is the one who set up this entire thing. He's been a huge help. Like, he was the one who brought the notes for the flight. He got the whole book, and I mean, he is a humongous help. Pick his name and he shall appear. Oh, Nightsep. Oh, Dougal. Hey, Cold Nebo, good to see you. Thank you guys so much. So, if you want to know where I'm at right now, I'm on the East USA server, though I can always change to Southeast Asia in case if something odd happens in the server. I have to get out of the door to work, but I definitely must be coming back. I love Flights with the Story. I hope to see you soon, CIA Cowboy. It's great that we finally got to actually meet. Thank you so much coming here today, and I'm joined today by a new, I think Flight Mavic's around here somewhere. But let me look. Is he above me, probably? Dinner Colin, see you later there, Skeptic. Thank you. Thanks for coming to the raid. I really appreciate all the new follows. All the new follows, thank you so much. So, on the top right corner is the nearest airport. So thank you guys so much. You know, guys, I don't usually stream Saturdays though. I stream Sundays at 1500 Zulu, but I have to actually stream today since I had to actually have a booster shot during the time I stream, and it wouldn't be done until 12:30. So I wouldn't have enough time to actually get the stream started. So I had to actually do it. Planet Neutral says this librarian appreciates your research efforts. Thanks a lot, Planet Neutral. And speaking of Planet Neutral, he's a newer streamer. But Planet Neutral's actually from my home state. Of Indiana. And he streams usually late at night. But let's go help him make affiliates by giving him the followers that I think he deserves. I think he makes some great content, and it'd be great for me to support a fellow Hoosier. Yeah, I moved the time. I had to actually change my schedule there. Oh yeah, tomorrow for Pilot Peely. Oh, is Pilot Peely doing a stream tomorrow? I haven't caught up with Peely in a while. I know he's had his move in his house, and I think he's had issues with Microsoft Flight Sim. And trust me, I don't think Peely's the only one who's had issues with it. I think Dougal's had issues too. So yeah, you guys are definitely not new for the issues sort of thing. I'm definitely going to check out Peely tomorrow, Dougal. And guys, speaking about Peely, since he did stream Thursday, I highly recommend you check out Pilot Peely. Really, really awesome flight simmer as well. Really entertaining guy. So I think you guys should definitely check out Pilot Peely 1900 Zulu tomorrow on Twitch. It'll be right before 2Cat streams. But I think it'd be really cool to support an awesome flight sim community. So support Peely. Non-CTDs in 2 days. Oh, Dougal, I feel so bad, Dougal. I haven't had any issues with CTDs yet. Either my sims run perfectly, or I'm the luckiest man in the community. I'm the luckiest man in the community. Dougal, that absolutely stinks. I don't know what's going on. That just. So now we're going to go fly into Ulan-Ude. So Ulan-Ude is going to be the next place. We're going to overfly the airport on Ulan-Ude. The Ulan-Ude is Russia's third largest city in the Russian Far East. It's the capital of the Republic of Buryatia, which is one of the political oblast entities located in Russia. It has with a population of 402,000, it is the third largest city in the Russian Far East. It was originally settled in 1666 by the Russian Cossacks in a fortress, and due to its really favorable position, Ulan-Ude actually became a major trade center that connects Russia all the way to China and Mongolia. And from 1690, it became part of the Trans-Baikal region. After a large fire, the city was completely rebuilt, and the Trans-Siberia reached the city in 1900, and it caused a major population growth. For example, in 1880, it was only 3,500, but by 1939, it reached all the way to 126,000 people, just mostly because of that railway was built. Now, believe it or not, there are a couple of unique sites that you can see here in Ulan-Ude. Here's the Ethnographic Museum in Ulan-Ude, one of the largest open-air museums you can find in all of Russia. It contains many historical finds in the era of the Slav-Grave culture in the Jiangsu until the mid-20th century, and it contains many wooden architecture from Siberia. There's also the Datsun Rinpoche, a well-known temple. And finally, the Buryat State Academic Opera and Ballet Theater can be found in Ulan-Ude. Pretty cool stuff. Hey, Mechanical Madness UK, good to see you. I haven't checked out the Bathurst scenery, but Mechanical Madness has actually made the Bathurst scenery. And for guys who don't know, Bathurst racetrack is home to the Bathurst 1000, Australia's greatest motoring sport event. So Mechanical Madness makes some incredible scenery. He's did Silverstone, he's did Hatchet Bends, and now he's worked on Bathurst, which is going to be awesome. But yeah, it's great to have you here, Mechanical Madness. Allison had 8 CTDs yesterday, which I played with her. That's weird. Did Allison have any CTDs, Google, today? Because it didn't look like she had any CTDs today. That's weird. Hey, Fishy Frags has just followed the channel. Fishy Frags, good to have you here. Thanks for following. I really appreciate it. But yeah, we're flying in Russia right now, Fishy Frags. We're headed our way to Ulan-Ude. She didn't have any today. That's weird. This sim can be so inconsistent sometimes. For me, I haven't had any CTD issues since the world update, while some people just have lots of CTD. Like, it's so inconsistent. Like, I don't even know what to get. Consistency. Oh, you think it's server... Oh, Sim Update 8 Beta just came out. Yeah, they're pointing around the server changes. I hope it actually works out. I know that update beta just came around. So let me go ahead and show you guys the scenery out here. But yeah, it's looking quite nice out here. You see mountains to the east. We get to start seeing some of the hilly mountains and all that. And then further, if you look towards the west, we actually see some of the rivers. We see the Solens River going all throughout the area. And that is where one of the major rivers of Ulan-Ude is, the Solens River. And that's one of the rivers that is from Lake Baikal. Which is pretty cool. We have all the rivers, hills. Like, this part of Russia is absolutely beautiful. Like, my favorite areas to fly in Russia is around Lake Baikal, southern Siberia, and then to the east, with also Kamacho too. All those are great places to fly around Russia in the sim. I think I posted the release notes for semi-update release notes back for the updates, I believe. I posted the notes for it, so. I don't think I think, from looking at the notes, I don't think they did things with server changes. I don't know. So I hope you guys currently from Allison's Raid have had a great weekend, are having a great weekend so far. I hope you all had a great time with Allison. And again, I think it should always be a good time to fly with Allison. As well. So, some news I do want to talk about. Here's one that I think I'm really excited for. Simworks Studio and the pilots, they're going to bring the Dash 7 to the sim, the DHC 7. That's going to be amazing. New person go have a favorite place to fly around Russia. Yeah. My favorite, like I said, let me show you where my favorite place to fly in Russia. This whole region around Baikal is amazing to fly over. This area is really cool too. In the South Siberia is a great place. Right over here, the mountain ranges to the east are all great to fly over. And then all of this part is really nice to fly with all the mountains. And of course, Kamacho is really cool. Kamacho is one of the coolest parts of Russia to fly over, is Kamacho. And then if you want to go somewhere east to fly over, the area around St. Petersburg with Lake Ladonga and Onaga are a pretty good place to fly near St. Petersburg. Those are probably my picks. And then also the Ural Mountains, right up here, are all pretty cool place to fly. Fishy Frax, good to see you. Thank you for the welcome. I followed Allison's stream earlier today and had another streamer mention Allison. I love her history, but I never bothered with anything to do with flight. It all sounds interesting. Yeah. Historical flying is really awesome. And there's a lot of really good content creators that do historical flights. I mean, I'm doing one based off the Berlin-Beijing flight in 1926. Allison's doing a lot of female aviators. She's doing Amelia Earhart. Earlier, last year, she also did Amy Johnson. And then another one I know of, Volleyball 9, he's doing Charles Kingford Smith. He did it last night. And he is a really awesome Australian guy as well. There's been lots of historical stuff as well, and I think Eric Flight's done a few historical things too. So there, like I said, there's a lot of content creators that do. There's quite a few historical content creators that do historical stuff. And I'm planning to do more historical flights with the Yonkers. I'm planning on doing it at some point in the summer, flying the retrofit Yonkers from Miami to Hamburg. And I'm going to recreate the restoration and talk about the recreation and the history of Delta Alpha Quebec Uniform India, as that plane has got an extremely long history. So yeah, I appreciate, but you're more than welcome here, Fishy Frax. Good to have you here. Oh, there's Dougal Batavish. He's in the Mark 1 Spitfire. I don't have it, unfortunately, so you might appear as the Bonanza. Yeah, you're just going to come in as one of the fastest Bonanzas in history, Doodle. Yeah, this is nice here. we have enough to climb the hill. So I'm going to go ahead and come up a little further. Once we do that, I'm going to probably descend back to 4,000 feet. Around 4,500 feet will conclude for the rest of the section. Captain Dougal in a what? Am I hearing that correctly? Yes, Dougal's in a Mark 1 Spitfire. Captain Spitfire! Hey! Good to see you, Captain Spitfire. Don't worry, Captain Spitfire. I handled Joyce nicely on Wednesday. I didn't crash with her once. But no, going back to what I said earlier, Simworks Studios and pilots are going to bring in the Dash 7 DHG-7, and I mean, that's going to be amazing. Because I'm a huge fan of the Twin Otter, but I'm really curious to see how they're going to bring the Dash 7. That's a turboprop airliner, and I think that's going to be awesome to have a turboprop airliner like a DHG-7 to visit them. And for a lot of people who don't know the background of this, the plane, it can actually do some short takeoffs. This thing can actually take off at a pretty short distance, around 2,000 feet. You can go up, it has a max speed of 231 knots, and it can go with a nautical range of 690 nautical miles. And it's used by a lot of different operators throughout the years since it was built. So definitely a very cool plane. Hey Makazi, good to see you. The flight's going great. The flight's going awesome today, Makazi. We're gonna head to our first waypoint. We're actually flying to Ulan-Ude, which is our first waypoint for today. We're gonna fly near the airport. Yeah, thank you so much for Kaji for coming. And Dougal with me today is in a Mark 1 Spitfire. Oh, you're now a Mark... Oh, you put dev mode. He's now a Mark 9 Spitfire. Let me take a look. Yeah, there's Dougal. Let's give Dougal... And I also have one more guy with me, Fly Mavic, who just followed earlier today. He's also flying with me today. There's some awesome new people following along today. Yeah, guys, I really appreciate all you guys being here today. It's awesome. Okay, dinner time, still working now. No worries, Dougal. I hope you enjoy your dinner, Dougal McTavish. Really appreciate it. I'm going to go ahead and descend a little bit. Just going to slightly descend. Don't need to be at a really high altitude, but you should keep low to the ground. Hey, TBM Nathan! Good to have you here. I hope you're doing well yourself, TBM Nathan. Really appreciate you coming here as well. It's good to have you here. So we're just going to descend this bad boy slowly. Good to be here, man. I have a question about the Yonkers, actually, dude. I didn't know anyone better than me to help me. Go ahead, ask me a question about the Yonkers. I'm really curious. Hey, Conville999 has just followed the channel. Thanks a bunch, Conville. Flying over Russia, we're heading to Ulan-Ude for our first waypoint. Does the Yonkers have an autopilot? It does, actually. But it's not the autopilot you think it is. For those who are new, the Yonkers Ju-52 does have an autopilot. However, here's how this autopilot works. So first, you set your heading first. So since our flag, we're going to go 108 degrees, you'll set this heading bud all the way here. We need to get this to the right heading. 190... 90, 95. There. Then we turn this on, right here. There's the autopilot. There. And press this. And it will lock in our heading. And it'll go to the heading here. And it works. However, here's the thing, TV Maven. This is a gyropilot that only works for heading. It doesn't keep your altitude. But here's the one thing the Yonkers is great though. The Yonkers is absolutely amazing. It is really, really easy to trim. The Yonkers is one of the easiest payload planes to trim in the whole sim. It's so easy to trim this thing. I've done entire legs hand flying. So I don't think you have any issues with this at all. So that's how it works, TV Maven. If you want me to, I can go back and go over the step again. And yeah, there's more thunderstorms here today. So right ahead of us is the city of Ulan-Ude. Our first checkpoint for today, right over here. The main airport we're flying to is the Ulan East Airport, which is the smaller of the airports here. And this area, I believe, is home to the, I believe that's, actually, yeah, this is the Ulan East Airport. This airport is currently the home of the Ulan-Ude aviation plant, and they usually produce the Mi-17 and 171 helicopters, along with the Sukhoi Su-25 attack planes. It really doesn't, though here's, like I said, all things do. Yeah, this thing doesn't really need an autopilot. Just showing you guys here for the first time. It doesn't really need an autopilot, though. If you trim well, you can make coffee, and she'll still be back on course. That's 100% correct, Knight's. She doesn't really need an autopilot. She is that smooth. It's a really smooth and easy to fly plane. The Yonkers is it's a dream to fly. That's why I love flying this thing so much. So here it is, guys. We're at Ulan-Ude. I'm going to go ahead and take a snapshot. She's a beauty. Why does technology have to evolve? Well, I mean, technology has to evolve at some point. Yeah, the Yonkers is a beautiful plane. It may not be the most visually striking plane in the entire world, But the Yonkers is so versatile. It can do your cargo flights. You can do this for transporting passengers to the airliner. It can be used for cargo plane. It was used for World War II as a parachuting plane. And even after the war, they still use this as a regional airliner all the way to the 70s. And this thing's even tough enough to survive the airfields of Papua New Guinea. And trust me, if you guys haven't watched a series on YouTube called Worst Places to Be Pilots, Yonkers Ju-52s actually flew in these conditions. Before we had the Porters and the Crest Kodiaks, they were flying in this thing. Which is pretty epic. And this plane sounds really good too. Here's Ulan-Ude. Now we're gonna fly into the next direction. But actually, believe it or not, this might actually be the last true full leg in Russia, because the next leg we're actually gonna enter China for a bit, though. So now, once we do this, we're going to head to an 81-degree angle for 70 nautical miles, and then we'll reach our waypoint, another waypoint down across the river. And believe it or not, once we reached Ulan-Ude, it now said they took them 1,600 kilometers straight to Beijing, about a day and a half, according to Robert Noss. However, the route was blocked because Mongolia at the time was at war with China. So this forced them to take a detour around Manchuria. And that's because, let me pull my nav map. Let me explain it. So originally, once they landed at Ulan-Ude, they would have just taken a path straight through Mongolia and straight to Beijing. Well, that didn't work out because Mongolia and China at the time were in the middle of war. So as a result, they were forced to take the route that we're currently doing today. It's kind of just applying what the notes said. So that's what that's kind of the route we're flying here today. signing off. Night Step's gonna sign off. I may do that flight on my own tomorrow. Will the next stage be on Sunday again? Yes. Next stage will be Sunday again, Night Step. No worries, man. I hope you have a great rest of your day. And see you soon, Night Step. Yeah, it is stunning out here today. It looks absolutely amazing out here today. The scenery is absolutely stunning here. Part of Russia, it's absolutely stunning. I love it. I love flying here. Yeah, not so much with the lightning and all that, but yeah, this is why I'm very excited to fly this scenery here. With all the hills and the valley and the rivers. But actually, here's the thing, guys. If you actually, I have the topo map. If you see in the OpenStreetMap, we're following a set of roads and all that. Well, that's because we're mainly following the Trans-Siberian Railway. Which, for guys that are new to this is where they actually did most of the routes. They follow that Trans-Siberian Railway. And apparently, if, let me load up the slideshow for what I'm talking about. A couple slides all the way back. So this is basically the main route we're following today. If you notice on the slideshow in our map, it shows that we're actually following the Trans-Siberian Railway. You can see here that we're following multiple different routes. We're following the main Trans-Manchurian route. So basically, we're following from St. Petersburg, we follow from Moscow, Irkutsk, main routes, Tomsk, Novosibirsk, Krasnoyarsk, Lake B called Ulan-Ude, and we're actually following the Trans-Manchurian route because we're going to be in Chita, and we just follow that route down there. So that's what we're going to be flying through the main route. So quite easy for today, doing that. On that route. Hey, Makazi, good to see you're going to join with me. That's awesome. Yeah, the nearest airport's on the top right corner. Top right corner should say the nearest airport. Uniform, Lima, Lima. Yeah, it's amazing. I'm really liking the scenery now. So we're around 195 more miles to go to our destination. So if you want to, guys, I did have some in-course snacks. I brought in some very nice sour cream stuffed bellinis with some stuffed various varieties of halloumi. And then for our main course, if you're over 18, I brought you some very well-known famous vodka. A vodka. And then for ones who are non-alcoholic, I actually brought in a different drink today. I brought in some iconic, some of the most iconic tea in all of Russia. We got some of the finest tea you can find all over Russia. And yeah, a lot of people don't forget tea has been a massive part of Russian culture for centuries. So definitely some really cool stuff. I appreciate all you guys being here and stick around for the raid. Thank you so much. I hope I did enough to entertain you all. I can understand it's not easy. It doesn't have the most exciting scenery, but Russia definitely has her charm. Oh, there's Mosky. I see there's the Kazi right here in the pits. Ooh, that'll be a very interesting one. Yeah, it's stunning out here today with the weather. The weather is absolutely beautiful today. It's absolutely wonderful. What a great flight here. Hey, Fishy Frags asked, what I'm using for planning? Well, it's a little program called Little Nav Map. Little Nav Map is an absolute game changer. I swear by this product. Little Nav Map is an amazing flight planning tool. You can plan out entire flights with it. You could do approaches, you could do ILS stuff, you could do simple flight planning with elevations, you can put waypoints, you can even search up airports in the sim. It is an absolutely amazing tool for Fishy Frags. However, there's one caveat to this. It is for PC only. So if you're flying with the PC, you're fine with it. Xbox, you're kind of out of luck. And I wish they had stuff like this for Xbox. Thank you so much for the link. No worries. No, I appreciate it. Thanks a bunch. So I'm going to talk about something. I'm going to get started on my topic for today. I'm going to take this a little slowly. PC only here. Ah, nice, Fish Frog, so you should have no problem using it. That's fantastic. Oh, look who it is. Catbat9 just raided. For the party of 6, Catbat. Hey, congratulations to make your way on to Sydney then. You finally made it from London to Sydney. That's awesome. Congratulations, Catbat. And speaking of Catbat9, let me go give him a shout out. Catbat9 just streamed a couple days ago. He's a very prominent member of the Two-Tail Murphy community, an amazing, a really awesome content guy as well. He's been a huge supporter of the community. So thanks for coming here, Catbat. Thank you so much. So guys, please give him a follow. I know he's reached 50 for the affiliate, but let's get him even more support. So please click on the link and follow him. And tell him that Viperstrike 95 sent you. Good to see you, Kaharia. Phantom 8040. Return the favor. Yeah. Thank you so much, Catbat. Oh, guys, let me tell you a little story, actually, about Catbat. So, on yesterday, it was during Fabio stream, and I actually bought the raid. I bought, with using my channel points, bought the raid from Fabio stream to Catbat, and he got 180 people on Catbat's stream. But thanks to that and a few other people, he bumped up to 50. So I don't blame him for wanting to return the favor. Hello, Deaky Decimus, another amazing light simmer. Really chill and really awesome guy. Deaky Decimus is a really cool content creator. He may be mute, but he has some of the most chilled streams you can think for, and he's a really friendly guy in the community. Belusine, hello, good to see you, Belusine. Kaharia, good to see you as well. And Kaharia is awesome too. She streams on Saturdays as well. She is a real good pilot of the TBM 930. So definitely check out Kaharia as well. There's so many amazing people. I'm not afraid to give out shout outs. Like, you're all the amazing people. So once we reach our first waypoint, I'll set the time to 1300, and then we'll be, and then I'll just change to clear skies. So I'll go ahead and do that. Thank you. Today we fly the same. Awesome. So flying with me today, it is Makazi and Flight Maverick are here with me today. Earlier, Dougal was on with the Spitfire. But here's all the pilots flying with me today. We took off from Irkutsk, and we made it through Lake Baikal. You guys should have seen Lake Baikal. That is a massive lake. It's larger than the size of Belgium, and it has more volume than all 5 of the great North American Great Lakes put together. It's an insane lake. Oh, nice. Yep. I think you stream a little later today, Kaharia. I believe so. Actually, I'm thinking about probably raiding Kaharia. If we get here in time, we probably raid Kaharia stream. Bring her some nice bollocks. But I don't know what's going on, though. We still got a long while to go before we get here. We're still 178 miles out. Yeah, 2000 Zulu. We should definitely check her out. But thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. Well, let's go talk about the main topic for today. And this is Russia's geography. So you guys get a little bit of a crash course in geography. If you all remember taking those geography classes in school. This is just a very brief overview about Russian geography. And the reason I wanted to talk about that is because Russia is quite the diverse geographic country. It is the largest country on the entire planet. And as a result, due to Russia having a massively large country, its geography is extremely diverse in many different areas. 178 nautical miles, that's almost 2 days of the Anju. Really? Really? Oh, okay. So we'll break it down through different categories. So we talk about human geography, physiography, in geography, hydrography, topography, climate, different areas and boundaries, and the natural resources of Russia. So let's go over a bit about each of these. Let's start with the first one, the human geography of Russia. Now, the human geography of Russia, well, Russia has a population of 142.8 million people, and that was according to the 2010 census. If you add the Crimea thing, which is pretty messy, if you add Crimea into it, it is now 146.2 million. It makes it by far the most populous country in all of Europe, and 9th most populous country on the entire planet. To put that into context, the only countries ahead of them in population are China, India, the United States, Indonesia, Pakistan, Brazil, Nigeria, and Bangladesh, which makes them the 9th most populous country. But despite all that population, Russia actually has one of the least dense populations on the planet, with 9 people per square kilometer, which makes them 231st out of the 250 nations mentioned here. And why, you may ask, why does Russia have such a low population density? Well, the simple reason is that despite the size of Russia, its population is extremely urbanized, meaning that roughly 75% of all of Russia's people live in urban areas, mainly in Moscow, St. Petersburg, or Novosibirsk, which are the top 3 largest cities. If you want to complete the top 5, number 4 is Yekaterinburg, and 5th is Nizhny Novgorod as well. And you want to ask, why are so many people in the cities rather than just out in the country? Well, if you move to Siberia, you're dealing with the Russian winter. And Russia's such a vast country that it's really hard to get roads and all that stuff to the vast Siberian forest. I mean, that was for one of the reasons why the Trans-Siberian Railroad was built in the first place, was so they can get communications. Well, that's actually a pretty big reason for it. In terms of demographics as well, this was on the notes, but Russia, like I said, is home to 193 different ethnic groups around the world. In addition to this as well, Russia has one of the world's lowest fertility rates as well. And that's led to Russia's population being decreased for much of it. As well. So that's a bit of the human geography of Russia. Now let's talk a bit about something that's more interesting. The physical geography, the physiography of all of Russia. Now the physiography is talking about the physical regions. So Russia itself is divided into 5 natural zones. It's all about timing, isn't it? Hey, Richie Ricardo, good to have you here. Yeah, it's good to have you here. But we're talking about geography lessons here. So there's 5 main zones of Russia for natural. The tundra, taiga, steppe, arid zone, and mountain zone. And that's corresponding to this map, and it shows the different zones that Russia is known for as well. And Russia consists of 2 different plains, 3 lowlands, 2 plateaus, and 2 systems of mountainous areas. The plains include the Eastern European Plain and the West Siberian Plains. 3 different lowlands, 2 different plateaus like the Central Siberian Plateaus, the Lena Plateau, and 2 systems of mountainous areas, the Eastern Siberian Mountains and the Southern Siberian Mountains, which is where we're at right now. Now the Arctic territories of Russia are actually around 4,300 miles from west to east, from Karelia into the west near Finland, and they go all the way east to the Chita Peninsula, all the way up to the north. Now, 10% of Russia is actually tundra, and it's most well known for its herds of wild reindeer. White nights in the summer, they're called white nights. Basically means it's dusk at midnight and then dawn shortly after. It's called a midnight sun. And of course, and in winter, there are total days of total darkness in the winter. Just pure dark. Like, you don't even have the sun up. The long, harsh winters and lack of sunshine allow only for a handful of different kinds of plants to grow, mainly mosses, lichens, and dwarf shrubs. And they sprout just very lowly above the barren permafrost. Thankfully, only 1% of less than 1% of Russia lives in that zone. Mainly the indigenous peoples up north live up all the way in Russia. And the most populous city in that area is a city called Norilsk, which is most well known for its nickel reserve, basically. Then we go to the most extensive area of all of Russia, the taiga. Now, the taiga is a very interesting part of Russia. It stretches from the western borders of Russia to the Pacific. It also occupies the territory of Eastern Europe and the Western Siberian plains, the north and south. It accounts for over 60% of all of Russia. Now, the area of the taiga is generally moist with moderately warm in the summer and with a very harsh winter, and there is a steady snow cover in the winter as well. But this area is also well known for being a home for lots of different plants and animals. You see forest and spruce and fir forests in wetlands. They have pine forests, shrubs, and meadows. There's also birch, alder, and willow trees in the areas. And within it is its animals, including the sable, marten, stoat, moose, brown bear, wolverine, wolves, and muskrats live here. Now, you may ask, what the heck is a sable? Well, a sable is actually a marten species, and they were important because of its fur. In fact, so much so that during the Middle Ages, the fur of the sable is so valuable that it actually built a lot of the trade and all that stuff in the area, including like Baikal. And they go all the way back. In fact, fur companies in the area produce 25,000 fur skins of sables annually, with nearly 90% being exported to France and Germany. Pretty crazy to talk about. Obviously, what most people think is the symbol of Russia, the brown bear. The brown bears also live throughout Finland and the United States, Canada as well. Wolves, Russia's also got the largest wolf population as well. Over 60,000 wolves live there, and mooses are also very common too. In addition to this as well, the Russian taiga is also home to the world's largest reserve of coniferous wood, but due to intense logging, it's decreasing every year though, due to this. Pretty cool stuff. Next is the mixed and deciduous forest areas in Russia. It's kind of triangular. It's widest along the western border and narrow toward the Urals, which is to the north. Mainly the main trees are oak and spruce trees, but many other groves of vegetation reside here as well, like ash, aspen, maple, and pine trees. And this is home to some types of animals, including the roe deer, wolf, fox, and squirrels. All live in this area as well. So you see pictures of the forest of that as well. Then we talk about the steppe, which is the plains. Now, for most people, the steppe has been the typical Russian landscape. It's been the steppe in the plains. Usually, it's a broad band of treeless, grassy plains and mountain ranges. Hey, Joe 176 is just bald. Hey, good to see you, Joe. We're flying through Ulan-Ude and all that. And I'm just talking about the geography. I brought slideshows for this. They are the main broad band interrupted by mountain ranges extending from Hungary across Ukraine, southern Russia, and Kazakhstan before ending in Manchuria. In a country of extremes, the steppe actually provides the most favorable conditions for human settlement and agriculture, due to its moderate temperatures and adequate levels of sunshine and moisture. Makes it quite the popular area for droughts. However, despite that, though, agricultural years can be affected by unpredictable levels of precipitation and droughts. And there's all sorts of steppes all over the place as well. And the one right here is the Eurasian steppe, which is where we're at right now, and it's home to all sorts of different animals here, including foxes and the unique stega antelope, which is unique in this area. There's also the Przewalski horse. So lots of different kinds of little animals live here in the steppe. Then we get to the topography of Russia. So the topography of Russia is the fact that Russia has 9 different mountain ranges, and they can be found all over Russia, particularly the Continental Dip, the southwest border, in the Caucasus, along the border of Mongolia, like the Sayan Mountains and the Altai, and in eastern Siberia, mainly in the Kamacho Peninsula, which is one of the first east you can get from Russia. Russia has 9 different mountain ranges. Generally, the eastern half of Russia is more mountainous than the western half. The interior, which is dominated by the low Mongolian borders. So let's talk about each of the different mountains before we get started. The first mountain range, obviously, I don't have a slide for it, but the Urals is the natural boundary between Europe and Asia. And the Urals goes around 2,100 kilometers from the Arctic Ocean to the border of Kazakhstan. And the highest peak there is Mount Nairodama, which is around 6,214 feet. And the Ural also contains some of the most valuable deposits of minerals on the planet. In fact, it has 48 different species of valuable ores and minerals, including angerite, beryl, platinum, and quartz. And of course, nickel as well, making it extremely important for of it as well. Then we have the Caucasus. Now, the Caucasus is in the southwest of Russia, and I'm going to show you this when we. I'm going to pull up the map. That's fine. Let me show you where these mountain ranges are. I get ready. Good to see you, Kaharia. Take care. Let me show you where the Urals come. I'm going to open up the topo map. So right here, from right here to right down here, that is the Ural Mountains. That right here is the Urals. So this is the Ural Mountains. These are one of the most important mountain ranges on the entire planet. And then in the southwest corner here, this here is the Caucasus. The Caucasus Mountains are one of the larger mountains in range of Russia. It has Europe's highest point, Mount Elbrus, at around 5,642 meters, or actually around 18,000 feet. The highest point in all of Europe can be found in the Caucasus. And it's between the Black and Caspian Sea, and they can rise to some impressive heights. At some point, I am going to fly over the Caucasus at some point as well. And finally, the last major mountains I do want to talk about is Kamacho, which is all the way to the east. So right here is Kamacho. This is the Kamacho Peninsula, located right here. This is Kamacho. Now, Kamacho is extremely mountainous, and that area includes many different volcanic peaks, some of which are still active, and the highest of all is the Pulachevskaya Sobaka, which is the highest point in the Russian Far East, and that is 4,750 meters, or around 15,600 feet, which is the highest point of the Russian Far East. So definitely that talks about the mountains, obviously, the topography of Russia, as Russia has an extremely unique topographic situation, which is extremely cool, if you ask me. The next thing is the drainage. So drainage, the fact is that Russia has over 100,000 rivers. Yes, Russia has a lot of rivers. And as a result, with Russia having some And due to the fact that Russia has over 100,000 rivers, it also has 20 different watershed districts. And due to this, Russia has an extremely high amount of surface water resources, second only to Brazil. It's a full air show backer. Ooh, speaking of which, oh my gosh, you are actually doing crazy things back there. I forgot you guys were doing that. I'm sorry about that, Mavic. I was giving out the presentation. But it has, and there's lots of different rivers all over Russia. Those include the Irkutsk system, the Yenisei River, and the Lena. And those are among the world's longest rivers on the entire planet. Particularly the Yenisei River, Angara River systems, is actually the 5th longest on the entire planet. Only behind the Nile River, for the Nile River system, the Amazons, the Yangtze, and the Mississippi Rivers are the only ones longer than the Yenisei River was. Pretty insane. In addition to this, Russia's also got lots of big lakes. I covered earlier about Lake Ladoga and Onega, being the 2 largest lakes all of Europe. And then I covered it earlier, Lake Baikal, the largest and most prominent freshwater body in all of Russia. And there's also a few rivers that go into the Pacific, most notably the Amur River. Goes through here too. Pretty crazy to think about Russia's river. And look at the guys go. This is actually insane. You guys are actually insane. You guys are awesome back here performing the air show. It's absolutely awesome. You guys are amazing. Go back to the cockpit. And a lot of the reason for Russia having this much water is due to the glaciation that happened all over Russia. As a lot of this area was covered under glaciers during the Ice Age. And when the Ice Age finally melted, that's what gave Russia a lot of its rivers and such. Which I think is a really cool nod to history. Then we talk about the climate. Russia's climate is quite unique. Since Russia is so large and the areas are so remote to the sea, there is a lot of a humid continental climate, and that's prevalent in all parts of the country except the tundra and the extreme southwest of Russia, Pakistan. And that's because a lot of the mountains in south and east obstruct the flow of the warm air from the Indian Pacific Oceans, while the plain of the west makes the country open to the Arctic. And for guys who don't know what that term is, basically a humid continental climate is it's typified by 4 distinct seasons: spring, summer, fall, and winter, and a large seasonal temperature difference. That's all over Russia. As well. Also, northwest Siberia and Siberia have a subarctic climate, which is where we're at right now. And basically, expect extreme severe winters in the inner regions of northeast Siberia. Be extremely cold. I mean, it can go as low as negative 71.2 degrees Celsius or negative 96 degrees Fahrenheit. That's extremely cold. But the area we're currently in right now in Siberia, thankfully, isn't so bad. Because we're actually in the very cold winter, but we're actually pretty dry. But we're pretty dry in the summer. We're in the subarctic climate. Throughout much of the territory, though, of Russia, there's only 2 distinct seasons: winter and summer. As spring and autumn are usually very brief periods between extreme low and extremely high temperatures. So thankfully, during the time they flew in the summer. So that's what the day they usually flew. But once it got winter, it is really cold. I don't have to tell you much. Now, before we talk about the territory and stuff, let's talk about the area and boundaries for a bit. Now, Russia is Excluding Crimea, the total area of Russia, both land and water, is around 17,098,242 square kilometers. And if you want to put this into context, this country is slightly large. You know, it's larger than 2 Brazils put together. And trust me, Brazil is not a small country. I mean, Brazil's the 5th largest country in the world. And the fact that Brazil, you could put 2 Brazils in Russia and still have room to spare, tells you the size of Russia. It's colossal. Obviously the most westernmost port of Russia is actually Kaliningrad, but it's not connected to any of the main country. While the farthest east is in Kamacho. Now, Russia's bordered by quite a lot of countries. In fact, in terms of border countries, it's bordered by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 different countries border Russia, which include Norway, Finland, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Poland, Belarus, Ukraine, Georgia, Azerbaijan, Kazakhstan, Mongolia, China, North Korea, Japan, and the United States. Which, that's a lot of countries bordering Russia. And finally, we gotta talk about the last part of the geography lesson. Yeah, Ukraine being one of them. It's about to get bigger too. Yeah. Donbass has been a major thing. I don't want to talk about politics too much, but yeah, it might get bigger. Yeah, for Russia, borders are basically for Russia, they don't really care about borders. Now, natural resources. Why is natural resources a big deal for Russia? Well, Russia holds the greatest reserves of mineral resources anywhere in the entire of any country on the planet. And that's because there's so many mineral resources all over Siberia. The country is especially abundant in mineral fuels. It holds almost half of the world's coal reserves on the planet here, and even larger reserves of petroleum can be found all over Siberia. In addition, natural gas is a very big thing these days. 40% of the world's oil reserves of natural gas can be found in Russia. There's also lots of manganese, nickel, tungsten, cobalt can be found here. Also, the non-ferrous metals like aluminum, copper can be found here too. And of course, lead and zinc can be found in the North Caucasus Mountains. And of course, gold. Russia has one of the world's largest gold reserves as well in Siberia. But basically, you can find all sorts of mineral resources found in Russia. You can also find raw materials like potassium and magnesium salt deposits can be found here. But despite all those amazing resources, only 8% of the land is used for arable farming. Which, I mean, it's a pretty... Ukraine's about to slap him, I hope so. Yep. Definitely very, very important, and that covers the geography lesson of Russia. But it just shows you that this country has such a wide geography. It's a lot to talk about with Russia's geographic uniqueness. And I think it's very, very important we actually do that. And it's great to actually talk about that sort of stuff. It has snow too. Yeah, Russia's got lots of snow. Yeah, Russia and snow are almost synonymous. Yeah, how can I forget Russian snow? Captain Run, thanks for the flight, says Makazi. No, thank you for coming to fly with me today, Makazi. That was a great flight. You and Fly Maverick were amazing for the air show. You give every one of us a fun flight. Thank you so much, Makazi, for joining in. I really appreciate you all being here for today. It means quite a lot. So thank you guys so much. So if you like this content, I do have a Discord as well. So join in if you want to get caught up to the latest news and discussions for the channel. You can even give me ideas for the Wednesday flights to the Bush world. And to get caught up with all my flights. I have a YouTube as well. I do all my VODs for all my videos, so if you want to get caught up in my flights, I do that as well. And if you really like the content, and if you haven't followed yet, don't be afraid to smash that follow button, guys. Because don't be afraid to do it. It's going to be 100% well worth your time. I promise. What direction are you from UAB, trying to find you in game? Oh, what direction? UAB is, let me show you on the nav map. It's actually quite a bit southeast, so that's Bada. So if you want to catch up to me, you're going to have to go, I'm heading east. You might have to go northeast to catch up to me. So I'm actually northeast. There. Hey, 8-Bit Gamer. Hey, 8-Bit Gamer Dad. Good to see you. Good afternoon. Good to see you here. Thank you so much for being here, 8-Bit Gamer Dad. We took off all the way back at Irkutsk. So we took off here from Irkutsk, right here. We flew across Lake Baikal, Russia's the world's oldest lake and Russia's largest lake. We went past Ulan-Ude, and now we're heading to our second. And we're going to go to waypoint 2 and then get our way to our destination nearby Chita. So I hope you're doing really well, 8-Bit Gamer Bad. I'm doing great. Thank you for doing it. I don't stream Saturdays though. I stream Sundays. Tomorrow I have a booster. I had to go an appointment, get a booster shot for the cruise on April. So I have to, and since it came at the time I had to stream, I moved it to Saturday, and it was a good thing I did. Take care, Dinky. Have a great rest of the day. I hope you get some sleep and take care of those dogs, Dinky. I know those huskies probably need a lot of care. I don't see a lot of Yonkers flights. Good stuff. Yep, and yeah, the Yonkers is a really, really nice plane for this now. Sure, it may not be the fastest plane on the entire planet, but the Yonkers is an absolute joy to fly. And I enjoy every single version of the Yonkers. But I really enjoyed the 1939 version, 8-Bit Gamer Dad, because this one, it's got the real German gauges, it's got the real stuff, it's got the real power into it as well. It has that feel of the 1930s, flying through all that sort of stuff. And there will be plenty of Ju-52 flights to come, in the summer, I'm planning to do the D-8QQI restoration flight, and I'm going from Miami to Hamburg. I'm going to talk about the history of the plane and talk about its history with Lufthansa and its service in Norway, and how it managed to get caught up all the way in Miami and used for many air shows in the Iron Age before being sent back to Hamburg to be restored and recertified for flights. Talk about the history of the plane. I think would be really, really cool. But yeah, like I said, this plane has an amazing history. Yeah, I've done a few trips in Yukon with Yonkers. Lots of fun. Yeah, the Yonkers is really, really fun to fly. That's why I like flying with this thing so much. It's a joy. I fly mainly the 39 version, but I also do quite a bit of flying with the retrofit version, because the retrofit version has one of the easiest to use VOR settings you can think of. It's so easy to use that thing in VOR. It's not funny how easy it is. So yeah, I'm doing a really enjoyable flight today. Just have a chilled, nice, relaxed flying. Yeah, this is going to be a pretty nice. Yeah, the VOR 1939 version is a bit more involved. Yeah, it's definitely a nice challenge. I haven't worked on the VOR thing for it yet. At some point, I need to work on that. So there's Fly Mavic. I'm just going to check on everyone. So there's Fly Mavic all the way in the RV7, the bands. So yeah, this particular area is kind of a little flat. We're getting back to the flat of Russia for a bit, but there's still little bumps and hills from here to there. Yeah, it's been a great flight so far. I'm very happy with today's flight. All the new people coming in. I really appreciate all you guys coming in. It has been a great stream so far. So I really appreciate you guys coming here. I hope you guys have a great weekend. I hope you guys still have any more plans for the weekend. I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend as well. Yeah, this has been a fantastic flight, guys. Very, very happy with it today. Have a good flight. Thank you, 8-Bit Gamer Dad. And actually, he does stream, believe it or not. So let me give a shout out to the 8-Bit Gamer Dad. He does do some really entertaining streams, and I hope you guys check out his channel and give him a follow. I think it'll be really, really appreciated. He's actually worked with Fabio in the past too. So if you guys know about Fabio's streams, he's often appeared on them too. Thanks, man. I really appreciate that. No worries, 8-Bit Gamer Dad. I really, really appreciate it. And I really appreciate you coming by to my channel. It really means a lot. I'm trying to actually increase the speed. Let's speed this up a little bit. Got some stuff coming with him soon. Yeah, you and Fabio are going to be pretty awesome. That's for sure. Now that I am very excited for. Trying to pick up a bit of speed. Yeah, I'm gonna pick up a bit of speed here, guys. Let's go fast with this one. Yeah, I'm very excited for, like I said, the next couple of weeks. There's so many flights and stuff in February. It's crazy to see how much flights and stuff we are getting in February. Yeah, it's time we actually just blitz through this, so. Yeah, it's definitely very, very pretty right now. I got the I think it is the epic high level clouds. Yeah. It's gonna be a very busy February month. Yeah, with all the new add-ons, yeah, it's gonna get really, really busy. It's crazy. I mean, the Concord, Kodiak Floatplane, potentially the 737 for PMUG, the Phoenix P-20 just got paid up. It's gonna be insane. I hope the rumors from the DC-3 are true. Yeah, I'm excited for the DC-3. I'm just going to be kept pretty cautious because it is airplane heaven. What is the near? Hey, Mark 362. The nearest airport is Uniform Sierra Oscar Zulu. What? And that is actually in the top right corner. That's the nearest airport. Good to see you, Mark. I hope you're doing well. Oh no, you had a CDD. Oh no, Joe, I'm so sorry. Joe, no, no, that stinks. Yeah, CDD issues are a big issue. I mean, I know Dougal McTavish has had several major CDDs the last couple days. I don't know too much about airplane heaven. Allison's flying one of their products. She's flying the Electra. She likes it, but I don't know how other people might feel about it. Yeah, this area's got much better photogrammetry data here, is much better. Like, the data here is actually pretty good. So once we get to waypoint 2, oh yeah, I was looking at that plane. I haven't pulled the trigger yet. So I got 5-6 new planes recently, so I'm the plane purchasing hiatus. Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. David 5 Knowlesman has now just followed. Good to see you, David 5 Knowlesman. I hope your day is going well, and thank you for following the channel. So we're actually just 84 nautical miles away from our destination at Chita. We took off earlier from Irkutsk, flew across Russia, the world's oldest lake at Lake Baikal. We went by Ulan-Ude, and we're now heading our way to Chita, 84 nautical miles away from our destination. Yeah, today's a really, really nice day flying here. Earlier, when we first started, it was kind of foggy. Then when we went over Baikal, it started to actually have a bit of, it was clear enough, but it had thunderstorms, and now this area is now pretty much clear. Except for some high-level clouds. Basically, it's all clear now. Basically, it's all going out. We just only have high clouds. E5's no, but I haven't kept up the aircraft you're flying. Well, I'm actually, here's the plane. This is the Yonkers Ju-52 from Asobo. This came out for World Update 5. Actually, World Update 6. The Germany update. This is the local legends plane they got with it. You can get it in the in-store marketplace for 15 US bucks. US dollars, and I say it's absolutely worth the 15. Easily. It flies like a dream. It flies like a dream. It's really easy to fly. It's got lots of character with the old steam gauges and all the German stuff on this. In addition to this, it also comes with 3 other versions: a ski variant, the floats, and then something really unique, a retrofit version based off the real-life plane Delta Charlie Lima Delta Hotel, which was one of the oldest airworthy Ju-52s in existence. But no, it is a very nice plane, and if you go on Flights MTL, they got tons of little liveries for the plane. Tons of historical liveries for it. Not just from civilian aviation, but this was used during World War II, so expect some military liveries too. Yeah, it's definitely worth the $15. Absolutely. It is a very fun plane. Hey, Claude Savage is just called. Good to see you, Claude Savage. It's good to see you here. I'm flying all the way in Russia. We're heading away to Chita. We took off all the way back at Irkutsk. Flew through a little bit through Lake Baikal. We went through Ulan-Ude, the 3rd largest city in the Russian Far East, through Foster Valley, and then we're only 76 nautical miles away from our destination at Chita, at Uniform India Alpha Alpha. So I've had a great day. So I've been having a great day. I hope you've been having a good time yourself, Cloud Savage. I hope things are going well. Epic Gamer Dad has just lurked into the chat. I need to update the lurk command. Probably need to fix that soon. David be benched. That was from my old baseball streams I used to do back in the day. Yeah, I used to actually, before I did this, on Sundays, I did my baseball series. I did all 32 Major League, all 30 Major League Baseball teams plus Montreal. And I did that as my first ever streams I did. Which I think is pretty cool, if you ask me. I also do, on Wednesdays, guys, I do bush flights. I do various places from all around the world. And I'll be flying all sorts of little bush planes throughout the entire world. You can never fix landing failure. Oh no. I mean, you don't have to worry about this plane having a landing failure because the gear on this is fixed. Now, for some of you guys who are first time to chat, I also do the slideshow presentations, and I talk about all sorts of different topics from the flights, including the historical journey, why they first did it, and all that sort of stuff. And I usually talk about different topics like geography, culture, history. Hey, David Knowlesman, happy belated birthday! Thanks a bunch. I know my February was all the way back in February 6th. But thank you for the late birthday, I really appreciate it. Hard to land without one of the main gear in the Airbus A320. Yeah. Yeah, that happens. I saw 757 Spy one time. He tried to land one of the jets and he forgot to put on his landing gear. Yeah, stalling is kind of scary on the A320. I'm not sure how big it is. Yeah, stalling is very scary, if you ask me. Like, That's why you gotta be a little careful with the angle of attack. You don't want to put it too high or you stall. You gotta be a little careful. Doesn't the 737 have Max kind of an anti-stall thing? I don't really know. I may have to look up on that. Cloud Savage. Actually, I think it does have an anti-stall system. But the 737 stall system has had some issues, though. That's why it had But basically, MCAS automatically forces the nose down to prevent stalling. And that's because on the 737 MAX, they had to actually put new engines. Yeah, it's MCAS. Yeah, it's MCAS. MCAS, apparently is forcing to pull the nose down. That was because they had to reposition the engines and all that. But the problem was that MCAS doesn't always work properly, and it caused a lot of the stalls. And that's what led to multiple crashes, not just in Indonesia, but also in Ethiopia when it was first crashed all the way back, I think a few years ago. Like, I'm not really the expert on airliners, but that's at least from what I read. That's what I said. Yeah, it's a great point you mentioned about that, Pod Sab. Yeah, yeah, the engines on the 737, it's because the engine on the new engines that came with the 737 MAX, while they had greater range, the engines are heavier than the original ones. So what they had to do was put the engine forward a bit. And as a result, due to the engines being heavier, they fixed it farther forward. And because of it, it changed the positioning of it. Because it was fixed forward in the wing, when it gave to the nose, it made it kind of tip heavier. Which meant the plane tilted downwards. And that's what caused the plane to crash and die. When you combine it with the MCAS system getting the incorrect readings. So the plane took off, and then the MCAS readings were wrong, and the plane now dived, but there was no way to pull it back up, and it caused it to dive. It gave an incorrect reading, and that was an issue for the plane for quite a while now. It's pretty crazy to talk about the little incidents of that plane. The forces the nose to rise because the engines move up to the front of the wing. Well, no, it didn't stall. It dived. Yeah, actually, you're right. It pushed the on the MAX. The in-cast was intended to mimic the Viper hair of the previous generation, but because of the larger size and position of the engines, during certain maneuvers, it pushed up. So the engineers were originally supposed to use it to counter that tendency. However, and that end cap was supposed to be a horizontal stabilizer that would eventually stall. Yeah, it's a very complex thing. Yeah, I'm not really an airliner kind of expert, so that's probably out of my depth a little bit. But I appreciate trying to understand all of that. I really do. Like, it's something for me to learn. This is the first time I learned anything about that in airliners. I really appreciate the talk, CloudSap. I think it's really appreciated. And I think I've learned something a bit. Yeah, I never heard of this song. When I heard it the first time, I was shocked and sad. Yeah, those aviation wrecks were absolutely horrible. And in fact, those two incidents happened between 2018 and 2019 in almost less than 6 months of each other. Yeah, that absolutely surprised me too. So, I do want to talk about one more thing. The final thing I want to talk about today is our final destination. And this is Chita. Chita is the administrative center of the Zabaykovsky Krai in Russia. And it's roughly 560 nautical miles east of Irkutsk. Chita lies at the confluence of the Chita and Angara rivers between the Yablonai Mountains of the west and the Cherinsky Range to the east. The notable people include Alexandra Semesko, a well-known tank commander. She's a Soviet tank captain in the first female tanker in the First Guards Tank Army. Boris Polyopy, and he is a well-known Russian historian. And finally, Vitaly Suleiman, a very well-known Soviet and Russian actor and director. So that's going to be the three things I want to talk about Chita. So, pretty simple topic. We should probably get there around 30 minutes. We're only 51 nautical miles out. So what kind of plane I'm flying? Well, let me show you the kind of plane. This plane is a Yonkers Ju-52. It was built in 1932 as a Finnish airliner. which is right here. This is a Yonkers Ju-52. This plane was originally built in 1932. It was one of the most iconic and beloved planes of the era. Powered by 3 BW-192A engines, both engines produced 750 horsepower each, giving it a max cruise speed of 133 knots and a service ceiling of about 19,000 feet. You can carry a cargo of 17 passengers, or if you want this to, you can carry 9,000 pounds of cargo. And this plane was used all over the era. It was used as an airliner, it was used as a cargo plane, it was used by the Luftwaffe in World War II to transport both cargo and paratroopers. And even after the war, this was still popular all the way up to the 1970s. It could even be used in Papua New Guinea, of all places, which is known for its brutal piloting conditions. But yeah, it is an absolute legend. And the reason we took this concept is because this was the plane they used for our journey. The Ju-24, which is basically an older version of this. And they did that plane for the night flights. That's what we did. Yeah, this is a tri-engine plane. It's 3 engines. It's a 3-engine plane. And in fact, that's a lot of this plane was made by Yonkers, one who originally made it. It's a tri-engine plane. Definitely a very unique plane. Most planes don't usually have 1 or 2 engines. This is a 3-engine plane. But there's actually good reason for this 3-engine setup, though. The 3 engines were there for safety. That way, in case if one of the engines went out, you still had 2 other ones that could fly. Which is a pretty neat little safety feature, if you ask me. Yeah, it does have a nose gear. It's a tricycle. It's actually a conventional gear. That's because back then there wasn't a lot of great ways to do nose gear. So this was all with a normal gear. This is a conventional tail system. That's what they use. That's what mostly every plane in the era wielded. In fact, the tricycle gear on a plane didn't really become popular until the jet age in the 1940s and such. But yeah, it's a real vintage plane if you ask me. Very vintage. But definitely a very cool bit of history. Reminds me of a Cessna plane that kind of had a gear. You mean a Cessna 170? In the set of a Cessna 170, but this thing, unlike a Cessna 170, carries way more passengers. It goes longer range. It carries more gear. It goes faster. And it's definitely got more character to it. And no offense to a Cessna 170, but I think that's what you kind of understand. Hey, Ernesto Gonzalez Nira has just followed. Hello, Ernesto Gonzalez Nira. Good to have you here. We're only 42 miles away from our destination here in Chita. We took off from Irkutsk, flew over Lake Baikal, went to Ulan-Ude, and then we're heading to a couple waypoints, and we're finally heading to our airport at Uniform India Alpha Alpha. It's good to have you guys here. Oh, server? I'm on East USA. And flying with me tonight is actually Fly Mavic. Fly Mavic's been with me the entire journey. He's kept on my tail through all of this. I had a raid from Allison Johnson in Cap at 9 earlier today. So today's been a great day. So I'm doing quite well myself. So take a look at the scenery on here. We're going through some of the circular lakes here. Oh, I found Mongo ahead of me. There's Mongo. Is that you, Mongo, all the way ahead? I believe that is you, Mongo. I believe that's you ahead. Oh, there you are, Joe, and you're in the... Ooh! Oh, Joe, you're in the F-35. Oh, that's going to get crazy in the F-35. I mean, compare the Yonkers to an F-35. You're going to blitz through all this pretty quickly. Actually, thanks to that most recent follower, Ernesto, we cracked the 275 mark. We're now only 25 for 300. This is awesome. Awesome progress, everyone. Thank you so much. We're not very far at all from the airport now. We now are just 32 miles out of our airport. We're making great time today. There's my Maverick. There's Mongo on my right wing. Here you are, Mongo. Joe 176 WJ in the F-35 Lightning 2. And there's Fly Maverick in the vans. I appreciate everyone for this great flight. I really do appreciate it. Hey, Blackstar 644 has just followed Blackstar. Thank you so much for coming here today. We're having a beautiful flight over Russia. We're heading our way to Chita, only about, I believe, 30 nautical miles out. We took off from Irkutsk, flew over Lake Baikal, we're Ulan-Ude, and now we're not very far from the final destination. This is Flight 1014 of our historical flight in 1926 Berlin to Beijing trip. There's so many beautiful areas we're flying to today. Today was an awesome stream, guys. Lake Baikal was absolutely stunning. Now we're going to land straight on runway 11. Yeah, this Yonkers though is faster than people give it credit for. I mean, you can go at max speed of 143 knots, which is pretty fast for a plane like this, especially in the time period. Not a pure fighter plane, but for a cargo, it's actually not that slow. definitely a very awesome flight. Thank you guys so much. There's Mavits, there's Mongo, and there's Joe 176 behind us. Into the convoy to Chita. We're only 23 nautical miles out until we get there. Once we land there, we'll get a rest, and then we're going to go ahead and raid. I think we're going to raid Kaharia today. He's also doing some Yonkers Ju-52 flying. So we're going to have a great time, everyone. We're making great time with the flight. This has been amazing, everyone. Thank you so much to everyone. I really, really do. F-35. Boom. Thanks, Dougal, for catching that. Never liked the E380 though, says Pug. Yeah, the E380 was... I'm more of a Boeing guy than Airbus anyway. Dougal banned El Comunistia. Good. I guess he put a lot of crap in there that was not allowed on the channel. You knew get famous when the bots raid LO. Really? Sheesh. Yeah, the bots raid. Yeah, okay, it was a bot. Okay, no worries. I didn't know someone saying inappropriate things are bots sometimes. You guys, that's where a lot of people get banned. Just keep it clean, alright? I had that exact same message in my chat last night playing neutral. Yeah, I feel the same way. Yeah, I like more the A340. Yeah, the A340 is kind of decent. For me, I like the Boeing planes, the 737, 747 especially. But there's some really cool Airbuses too. Doesn't mean I don't like airliners. I'm a bigger fan of Boeings than Airbus. That's just me. Yeah, but the A340 it isn't a jumbo jet, it just has 4 engines. Yeah, the A340 is kind of long, though. It's a wide body, but it's just got big old 4 engines. Oh yeah, Lockheed L-111 TriStar. Ooh, that's a very interesting little, interesting plane as well. The Lockheed L-111 TriStar. It was a trijet. That was a tri-body. That's a trijet. Yeah, you don't see a lot of trijets very much anymore. A lot of the trijets have been phased out, basically. I flew in the TriStar when it was Freddie Laker, says Google. Nice. That's definitely really interesting. The DC-9 as well. We're actually only just 10 miles. It's actually safe to descend. We're going to slowly descend. Forward a bit. And look what's in front of us, guys. There's the airport right in front of us. Just slowly trim this thing out a bit. We're gonna let this fall a little slow. Does even any airline use the DC-9? I don't really know. I think it's only used for limited services, I believe, but I don't think anyone's used as a major airliner. So now we're going to prepare to land the Yonkers for a bit. So we're going to get ready to land. So then we're going to pull up the flaps. I think 3 stages of flaps is pretty good. And lower the power for a bit. Now this thing does like to tip its nose over for a bit. I want a steady rate to descend. So welcome to Chita, guys. Let me go ahead and get this plane landed. Boeing can never hate the 737. That's why it's been popular for years. The 737 is just all around a jack of all trades airliner. It can do quite a bit. I mean, it's already been going through 4 generations since 1966. That's why the 737 is so popular. Here it goes. On the final stage of flaps, and use it to lower the speed. Let's see how our land's gonna be for today. Let's see what our land's like. Negative 235, not bad. It could be better, but at least we got the plane stopped. And to be fair, these things can land on the rough airfields, no problem. I mean, it's a durable plane. And we can get this part. And there we go, guys. Let's look at the rest of the landings, guys. Let's see how the rest of you handle this. So there is Joe in the R-44 helicopter, I believe. There's by Mavic, he's down. There is Joe in the R-44 helicopter. And here's Mongo in the mighty Yonkers. Yeah. Even though the 777 has still a lot of accidents. Yeah, because there's so many produced. I mean, to be fair, it's a plane since 1966. It's about to have more accidents than most planes. Hey, Mongo has landed. Nicely done, Mongo. The thing stopped pretty quickly. So, guys, that is it. We made our way into Chita today, everyone. So let me go ahead and grab a picture. Tell them that we made our way to Chita. So there you go. If you guys like this content, I do have a Discord as well. If you guys like checking out the content. But guys, we made our way into Chita. Now, guys, this is actually going to be the final leg. Completing the trip through all of Russia. This will be the last leg that's fully in Russia. Because next Sunday is going to be leg 11, and we'll ride through the border into China, through Manchuria. And then on Wednesday at 1700 Zulu time, I'm going to be taking the Simworks Studios Kodiak over Mount Kilimanjaro. So this one's going to be a very fun one. Thank you guys so much for the raid. Thank you, Allison and Catbat, if you guys are still here. Thank you so much for the raid. Thank you guys so much. And thanks for everyone who stayed here in the chat, float with me, or even just lurked. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. So guys, I think it's time we raid Kaharia today. I haven't gotten a chance to raid Kaharia yet, so let's give her a very warm welcome. And make sure you guys stick around for the raid, alright? Thank you guys so much, and I hope to see you all soon and have a great rest of the weekend. Take care, everyone. Viperstrike 95, out.